Where's Elon Musk? I'm sure he's a genius and is a very credible person because of the wealth he's accumulated. But that does not put him above the law or the responsibility to come before this committee in this Congress. If he's so great, if these plans and all the fraud and abuse that he's found are so eminent, why isn't he here explaining it? You know why. Because he's out to privatize Social Security. He's been on television the last couple of days talking exactly about Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid, and what he intends to do. Privatize it. The American people, some of them may have been born at night, but not last night.
Elon Musk has unfortunately done it again. The man who started out his term as co-president by throwing up a seal that he said was really just a signal of love. I guess love to his fascist supporters has somehow descended even lower than that, because he's not hiding it. He wasn't hiding it. Then sure, Republicans tried to cover it up, but he's making it incredibly obvious because Elon has decided that he's going to start posting positive things about Hitler coming to his defense, because I guess that's what you do when you're a fascist. I am as surprised. Actually, no, I'm not. What do we say on this show? Never surprised, always disgusted. So I'm not surprised. I am pretty disgusted. And we are going to get into it all. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It really does go a long way, and it means a lot to me now. Before we get into this disgusting post from Elon, I want to feel a little bit better about this whole situation by hearing one of the best call-outs of him from a Democrat we've seen in a while.
Men and women on this committee are good people. They're honest and caring people. And that's why I do not understand why you would relegate this committee to no longer being of significance and resort to saying you will do whatever Elon Musk and Donald Trump tell you to do. Where's the independence of the committee? Where's the legislature? We're an equal branch of government, and you start off with a blather, and yet we look at the empty seats here. Where's Elon Musk? I'm sure he's a genius and is a very credible person because of the wealth he's accumulated. But that does not put him above the law or the responsibility to come before this committee in this Congress. If he's so great, if these plans and all the fraud and abuse that he's found are so eminent, why isn't he here explaining it? You know why. Because he's out to privatize Social Security. He's been on television the last couple of days talking exactly about Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid, and what he intends to do. Privatize it. The American people, some of them may have been born at night, but not last night. People are aware of this. Every single one of your districts, all the money that comes in monthly, and you have not done, you as a Congress, have not done anything in more than 54 years. And now you have someone coming in to privatize a system, something you have longed to do going back to 1982. Because Elon Musk thinks that this is the best thing to do. President Trump has called Social Security a scam. Elon Musk, as Mr. Neal said, called it a Ponzi scheme. Mr. Smith, of the more than 198,000 people in your district who rely on Social Security, and you won't even let the person who's planning to privatize it, who's telling the big lie in front of everyone, bold as he possibly can, saying, this is what we're going to do. The Congress is in our back pocket. We don't even have to come before them and testify, because we control the House, we control the Senate, and we control the presidency. And it's the tyranny of the executive. It's why These resolutions were first adopted back in 1789 because the founding fathers knew that the executive branch does not have total authority over the legislature unless you have a willing party that says, no, we're going to do exactly what you tell us to do, Mr. Musk and Mr. President. It doesn't matter to our constituents. It doesn't matter how much money they are not going to receive. We're not even going to tell them the truth about what's going to happen to them. They administer to over 70 million people in the nation's #1 anti-poverty program for the elderly and children. Shame! Shame! Can't bring people in front of this body. If he's right, if they're so good, if they're so just, why aren't they here telling the American people about it? They're not, because you know the truth. It's about privatization. I yield back.
Elon can post all he wants, but we know deep down he is scared. We know deep down he knows what he's doing is unpopular. And we know deep down that Elon is a very weak person. It's why he hides behind his phone, and also because he's a weirdo. And both of those things obviously came together. Oh, the thing that he retweeted, I cannot believe I have to read this article to you, but let's do it. Musk boost. Claim that hit wasn't to blame for the Holocaust. Elon Musk has reposted a tweet suggesting that Adolf Hitler, Joseph Stalin, and Mai Dong were not responsible for murdering millions of people. The post, amplified by Musk to his 29.6 million followers, blamed public sector workers for the atrocities carried out in the name of some of the most barbarous tyrants in modern history. It was unclear whether the Doge boss was seeking to defend the infamously ruthless leaders of Germany, China, and the Soviet Union were seeking to encourage debate over the mass killings out in their names. The MAGA billionaire, I should say, shared a post on his X platform by an account with a username, the Alice Smith, that read, Stalin Ma. And Hitler didn't murder millions of people. Their public sector workers did. He reposted this by highlighting a post blaming public sector workers and painting them in a negative light. Musk is likely to draw the ire of thousands of federal staffers his Department of Government Efficiency has targeted for job cuts and SL budgets during the unrelenting purge of government departments since Donald Trump returned to the White House. I don't even know what to say to this anymore. I truly don't. He just stoops to new loads every single day. Is he trying to assert that this is what he's saying? Who Elon is going after right now is people who take calls at Social Security. So if there's a problem with your check or just any issue, he wants those people fired en masse. Is he suggesting that those people are responsible for millions of deaths? It's the opposite. The people who work at Social Security are responsible for keeping people alive and out of poverty. That's why we have it. It's been the most effective government program in the history of America. He is an evil, evil idiot with no empathy for the people who actually care about and serve this country, which is a point made by an incredible Senator, Ruben Gyo, right here.
We know what's going to happen if you cut VA services, not just the workers, but the services. Because I saw it happen when I first got back from the war. When we first got back in 2005, it was nearly impossible for us to find room at the VA. We couldn't find the therapist to help us. I lost many of the guys I served with to suicide. Some are still luckily alive, but are still struggling with alcoholism, have seen their times in jail. And some that have succeeded have found service and a reason to live and fight because they went and worked for a mission-oriented job, working for the federal government. And for someone like Elon Musk and a bunch of 20-year-old brats who have zero understanding of what sacrifice for country means, to just go and tell these men and women one more time that the country is throwing you aside, we don't need you. Don't worry about collecting another paycheck. Don't worry about having health insurance at the end of the year. Don't worry about how you're going to pay rent. You sacrifice your mind, your body, your youth for this country. You came and worked for this country. And because this dude wants billions and billions of dollars, we're going to cut these men and women off. And it doesn't have to be that way.
The veterans cuts, the mass firing of veterans, is upsetting for a couple of different reasons. But it's also important in the context of something else we hear so much from Republicans. Why are we sending that money to Ukraine when we could be spending on our boys at home? Why are we shipping billions overseas when our veterans are still on the streets? Well, you've cut off aid to Ukraine and you're also firing millions of veterans. So which is it that we have to do, one or the other? Because your thing now is let neither. Nothing they say is true. They do not stand on principles. It's all a lie, it's all a shtick, it's gross, and it is incredibly unpopular, as Jessica Tarlov pointed out right here.
Etc., that the Democratic messaging actually has been going pretty well. So talking about they're trying to cut your health care while giving tax breaks to the rich. If you look at the latest Quinnipiac poll, there's over 50% disapproval of Trump himself, how he's handling the economy, how he's handling the federal workforce, how he's handling Ukraine and Russia, how he's handling trade with Mexico, how he's handling trade with Canada. So basically, he's underwater on everything. And a lot of that is due to the fact that Democrats are out there at town halls, like Jason Crow, for instance, held a town hall. He's a representative in Colorado. 1,300 people showed up to that. And there was tons of social feed that came out of that. And we know about the Republicans having town halls and then having to run away or asking questions like, what do you think of Doge? And expecting people to say something positive, and then they're screaming.
This is a terrible agenda. Let's be real. It's our opportunity. It is our time to pounce on it and make that clear. We have this moment. Let's seize it, and that is what we're going to try to do every single day on this show. I promise you that. And if you want to support us, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you're stuck around at the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. Until next time, I'll see you soon.